So I want to think about really in the past when we do look at strategic planning for businesses, we tend to have this 3 to 5 year time frame. I think that's going to change definitely with a lot of technology coming on board.
Why don't you share with us, is digital marketing dead in 2025?
Well, I think the term digital marketing is kind of overgeneralized because there are many components at play when it talks about digital marketing. There are obviously people associated with paid marketing. There are also social media posting. There are also video production as well as SEO, SEM, and a whole group of all of those things, including app as well. And not everyone is involved in every aspect, but anyone that touches one bit of it call themselves a digital marketers. So I would say it's kind of hard to say it's totally dead. I think there are some evolutions going on. We just need to explore later on as in our conversation as to what are changing the landscape at the moment, what are causing some of the digital marketers to really change their game, and even for businesses, what are implications.
What exactly is digital marketing?
As far as digital marketing is concerned, I think we need to reframe. There are two elements to it. There is the digital part and there's the marketing part. So let's talk about digital. When you talk about digital, it involves technology, involves really, the infrastructures, the platforms. And I think it goes beyond just AI. Of course, I think the key part here is about marketing. When we talk about marketing, essentially why do businesses even go into marketing is because they wanted to gain customers, they want to grow their business, they want to increase their revenues, or even go into a new market. So I think when we look at this whole digital marketing thing, is how they affect business, we need to really think about how that changes that we have in the landscape, which is not limited to just technology alone, but also consumer habits and even the way business work is affecting business, is affecting the way we live. So I think that is quite an interesting area, and that goes beyond AI.
What keeps your Singapore business owner friends up at night?
In the past, people would do paid marketing. They spend money and they think that if I spend X dollar, I will get X kind of results. And if I want to get 2X kind of results, I will need to spend 2X dollars. But that's proven to be wrong because over time, the effect of incremental spend will go to a marginal utility state where an extra dollar is not going to give you that much, and you have to think about a new way to do things. The other parts, for example, is about SEO. We talk about AI, and that is really changing the game right now, right? So in the past, companies would look at refining their digital platforms to ensure that they can be searchable, they have high visibilities. So what's happening right now is with even ChatGPT, with a search function, you can now search for things, and that's current, and it gives you the result that is curated. So the curated results usually have got a short paragraph. And so that leaves the question, do you then still click in to see the source? So these are some examples, right, of how that is changing, and that will eventually affect footfall to your website, your platforms, and how you're going to generate leads. So it means that businesses have to find new games. But I think a lot of the businesses are still stuck with the fact that trying to do a lot of catching up. So in my work, I actually work with a lot of startups as well. And one thing I've observed is everyone would try to follow the must-do, a list of must-do, even though they have got limited resources, and without really questioning whether that's relevant for them. And so I think this digital marketing space is really in a state of confusion right now. Everybody's kind of figuring out what to do next. And now very quickly, AI is now launching new functions and new features. And so now we're all doing catching up games.
So maybe Christina, which is most important, branding, marketing, or sales?
Thank you for the question. It's kind of asking someone to say, which is more important, your head, your legs, or your hands? Because they're all part and parcel of basically driving business. And I think the best way to explain this maybe is through the lens of a funnel, a marketing funnel, right? So the top of the funnel is basically where you drive awareness, when people do not know about you, to have an understanding about what your business does and whether or not they can trust you. And this is where branding comes into play, right? It's really differentiating yourself from other people, and it's the same reason why you're called Vicky and why you're called Colin, right? Because you are different people. And underneath that person, there are different features and attributes. So I would say branding is key when it comes to creating an awareness or trying to give an identity of who you are. And it's not just in the logos and campaigns and things like that. It's everything that the touch point the customer have with you. They may not decide to work with you yet or even buy your product at the moment, but they need to feel good about you and can trust you. So the marketing thing that you talk about, it's I would say maybe in the large part of it is in the middle of the funnel is where you do the convincing. Because when people make decisions, their decision purchase journey is not linear. So they will do referrals, they will look at comparisons, they will do their own research. And this is where marketing comes to play. When you're searching, the keyword comes out, your results there, you give them some evidence, they want to ask questions, you are there to address them, to remove any barriers for them to even get that conversion. And of course, sales is closing that. But a lot of the time, the marketing messages are very sales oriented. Now, if your products that a lot of people are already familiar with, so most of the business will subscribe to the fact that whoever shouts the loudest gets the business, but it's not always the case. So I would say it's different parts of the whole driving business must do that you must really consider. Can branding be directly linked to the conversion? Well, it depends on a lot of things. They may be aware, but when they get into the store, your cashier is rude and they are not willing to serve the customer. You lose the customers. So there's a lot of element at play. So I think when it comes to ROI, there are some misconceptions that needs to be addressed as well.
What are your predictions in the next 5 years, right, for marketing or digital marketing in general? Because we started off talking about is digital marketing dead in 2025. So what are your predictions, Christina, for the next 5 years in this realm?
Wow, this is a very big question, and I will approach the question in such a way as to where I think the natural progression is going to go. One is really the leverage of technology, right? So the use of technology, the way marketing tactics are designed, how you do digital marketing, paid marketing, even search and visibility of your platforms has to change. And that also dependent on really how much understanding you have about the technologies that you have in hand and you can leverage. Right? So that's one thing. And so I feel that in terms of tools, in terms of the nature of marketing, that is really going to change in terms of the way you get business, that's going to change. Two is really the level of the nature of engagement that a brand has with the customers, right? It can be very transactional, but it comes a time where there are many choices out there. Because right now is the mode of delivering a service or products goes beyond just a physical store, not even e-commerce, not even marketplace. That is live stream. Everybody's selling something. What kind of channel you use, it really would affect how you do business as well. So I think really key is, while everybody else may be offering the same thing as you, how can you attract the customer a lot better through connections, through building better engagement? That I think is important. Three, I think in terms of the way we define ROI, what is the success factor, what is considered success, would have to be evolved as well. What we know as the past metrics like your click-through rates and your landing page and all those metrics, that have to change, and even engagement and click and things like that. All those have to change. As to what it is, I think that's something that I would really love to engage with more digital marketers to explore. But I think we're all trying to figure things out. But I also think in terms of the predictions, I wouldn't think it goes beyond marketing. What I've learned actually through my years in marketing is the way to win clients and get to expand your market can go beyond just marketing alone. There is also growth by products. For example, if let's say you are addressing the market where constantly you sell apples and oranges, and at some point their need change, they want bananas, and you don't have. What you do, no amount of marketing is going to make them buy more from you because they want bananas. So the onus then is on the brand and the business to think, okay, can we create bananas or anything that tastes like bananas, at least to win some part of this business. So there is also the product aspect And then, of course, there's the experience. So I think the way of doing business has to change, business model change, value chain has to change. You look at what happened during the COVID periods. Logistics were disrupted. So there has to, business have to find other ways to get raw materials, right? So all those things may happen, and I think that change is going to happen at a cutthroat rate. So what's key really is to anticipate change, and I think there will be also increasing reliance or increased emphasis in terms of mental resilience among workers, among teams and leaders to absorb the shock of the change. And also, in other areas that I think would be important will be also creativity. Now with abundant technology, how are you going to use the technology? Is also going to be quite a challenging area for us to look at as well. It's kind of likened like you want to cook a meal, and all these technologies and tools are just different ingredients like vegetables, salt, and everything else. But you need to understand as a business owner what dish you want to cook, who are you going to cook it for, and then you use those technology. I think there is a lot of distraction due to all these different change driver that we have a tendency to be distracted from what really matters, which is what are you going to cook.